Imagine being 15 years old and assaulted by police for no apparent reason other than your ethnicity. That's what Daniel Haile-Michael says happened to him and his friends when they lived in Flemington Housing Commission. They decided this wasn't right and took their case all the way to the Supreme Court. In February, they settled with the police. As part of their settlement, police agreed to take public input about how they train their officers and interact with people. I catch up with Daniel on the first day of the community consultation. He's now studying civil engineering, but says his high school experience was a real turning point.
So that negative experience was the beginning of, of like this kind of shock horror awakening of the way things operate in Flemington. But through the settlement, we've actually kind of got them to, or they've agreed to this public inquiry, which is, in my view, a step closer to them changing than just being told they're bad.
Daniel is optimistic the police will be open to change.
And I'll say it up front that we've still got challenges in our organisation. We do not concede or accept that as an organisation we're actually involved in racial profiling.
Lawyers at Daniel's Community Legal Centre agree with Mr. Crisp.
It's true to the extent that there's no official policy of racial profiling, although African men of a particular age range in the Flemington North Melbourne region were 2.4 times more likely to be stopped by police than their numbers would suggest. There is still abhorrent aspects of the police culture which make racial profiling more likely.
You just want the police to act more professionally. Once they put on that uniform, they're representing the whole state and they're public servants. So, whatever stereotypes, whatever beliefs they might have personally, that shouldn't come into the workforce.
We haven't been as good as we could be in relation to listening to the community. At times we think we know what the community might say about us, but this is really, it's putting it out there and it's giving the community the opportunity to tell us what you really think about Victoria Police.
Ross Barnett from the Ethnic Community Council of Victoria plans on making a submission.
Younger people who are coming through are getting reasonably good training, and we certainly hear about the commitment to these changes at the very top. It seems to be perhaps in the middle, where there might be some barriers.
And Daniel's lawyers want to comment on the quality of police training.
They do some basic education around multicultural Victoria and the importance of policing in a multicultural society, but they're kindergarten level.
It's been a long journey for Daniel, but he's hopeful about the future.
It's sometimes comforting to know that, you're not the only one, or there's not something inherently wrong with you. Hopefully, we're trying to ensure that we kind of are the last people who experience this behaviour.
Now that the case is settled, both Daniel and the police want as many people as possible to have their say at police.vic.gov.au.